Hello, and welcome to your bonus training on how to tune in for specific answers. I'm Erin-Ashley. I will be guiding you through this wonderful information today. First, what we will cover. In this bonus training, you will learn how to know for sure what your psychic style is. You will learn how to phrase your questions for maximum benefit, how to tune into the universe and guides for specific and actionable answers. Remember, one of my mottos is if it's not concrete or actionable, you are not done with your intuitive work yet. What information to focus on while you are tuned in, and what to do when you get information you don't understand. This is going to be an awesome day. It's going to be an awesome training, so just get ready, take notes if you want, or just make sure you bookmark this so that you can come back and visit it again and again. If you were to only use the information in this training, you would never have to go to another program or anything like that to learn how to develop your intuition. All the information you need, seriously, is right here. First thing, what is your psychic style? A very quick review. There are four main psychic styles. Clairvoyance, which means clear vision. Someone who's clairvoyant is going to see things in their mind's eye. And clairaudience is the second. It has to do with clear hearing. Anytime you hear something, that is when you are clairaudient. Clairsentience means clear feeling. If you feel sensations or emotions within your body, and that's how intuition speaks to you, you are clairsentient. Claircognizance is the intuitive knowing simply by knowing something. It comes with its own sense of certainty. The certainty often will disappear once you are no longer tuned in or in the same vibration. All right, so what is your psychic style? How to know for sure what your psychic style is very, very, very simple. Action. The best way to learn what your psychic style is to actually try to hear in different ways. So whenever I was first starting to teach people how to tune into their intuition, I really wanted to create a quiz that would help people identify what their psychic style is. I wanted to create some ways that people would be certain what it is. And unfortunately, what I found is that I couldn't create an accurate survey because despite my best intentions, despite the research, you don't know until you actually try. I can give you signposts, and I do give signposts many times, but the problem is that sometimes when you're tuned in, information will come in just a little bit differently than you expect. And so the only way to really know is to actually tune in and see how it comes to you. Okay, so the very best way to figure out your psychic style is to actually try listening using all four modalities. So what this means is that you're actually going to sit and try to see something when you're tuned in, and then you're going to try to hear the information. You're going to try to feel the information, and then you're going to try to just simply know. And whichever one is easiest, that's your modality. That's the one that you should focus on. Again, you want to focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. So if you are very natural at seeing things, you want to continue to focus on visions and visuals. All right, so you want to ask these four questions in order to figure out your psychic style. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? And what do I know? So these are four questions that you're going to ask once you're already tuned in. We're going to talk about how to tune in just a little bit. But once you're tuned in and you're in that intuitive space, then you ask these four questions and you record the answers for each one. The one that information comes through the easiest, as I've said before, is your psychic style. That is your modality that's going to continue to be easiest for you. All right, next part, how to ask great questions. This is something that I had to learn as I went, especially at the beginning, because at the beginning I just kind of ask whatever was on my mind, but it wasn't yet worded in a way where my guides could actually help me. So first of all, I hope this is obvious, but you want to get your questions down before you tune in. And there are a lot of reasons for this. First of all, whenever you're tuned in, your awareness is in a much higher vibration than your normal vibration. So you may find that when you're tuned in, you don't care about the same information that you do whenever you are in your normal state of awareness. The problem is that you will return to your normal state of awareness, and if you don't answer those questions, you're going to feel really frustrated. It's going to feel a little bit like you just wasted your meditation and your tuning in process. So please do this before you tune in, and then actually commit to asking those questions while you're tuned in, and just let it be as it will. You want to make sure the questions are clear. You have to have clear questions in order to get clear answers. Now, for the beginning stages, you want to actually write them out. As you go, you may find that you don't have to write out the questions in order to get a really clear answer or to get a really clear question. But at the very beginning, you always do want to write them out just until you get the hang of it and the feel of it. And then you can play with it. You want to make sure your questions are specific. So if you are asking about how to get a new car, describe the exact new car that you would like to receive. If you want your intuition to guide you to a specific place, think of it like a GPS. If you want to go to your friend's house at a very specific address in New York, you're going to put in the street number, then the street name, the city name, and then the zip code. And possibly the state, but most people don't put in the state anymore with their GPS. So you're going to make sure it's very, very specific exactly where you want to be. This is the same thing with your intuition. To ask a good question, you have to be specific. If you just say, I want to end up somewhere in New York, well, then that's a lot easier, but there's once you get in the range of New York, you can barely cross the state line and be lost in the woods. And that's not necessarily New York City, right? So just be very specific about what you want and make sure that the question is specific. That way your intuition can give you specific answers. Also, make sure the questions are actionable. So here's the thing, unless you are just wanting to chat with the guides or you just want to have a conversation, you're not really looking to take action, you do want the questions to be actionable. So I'm going to give some examples of good and bad questions in a little bit, but just know if you can't act on the question, or if there's no power in the question, it's not a good question yet. All right, and lastly, write them out on a piece of paper, because once you're in the ether, once you're speaking with your guides, it's very easy to forget them. It's easy to either forget them or to not ask them. So just write them down. You will thank yourself later, I promise you. All right, so make sure the questions are very clear and specific. Something like, when am I going to meet my soulmate, is a very, very, very crappy question, okay? Because first of all, you have free will. Your soulmate has free will. So if you are going around asking, when am I going to meet my soulmate, it's passive. There are actions that you can take. There are beliefs that probably you can change in order to meet your soulmate sooner. You have some control over how soon you meet your soulmate, and also your soulmate has a say in it. So it's not predestined. There's not a specific date and time when you absolutely will meet your soulmate, and if you're not there at that specific date and time and place and location, you're going to miss out forever. It's not the way it works. So this is a low power question, again, because it's very passive too. When am I going to meet my soulmate? There's whenever you read that, there's this feeling of powerlessness. The universe is going to happen to you. So you want to make sure that you actually put some power into your question. So this is much better. What specific actions can I take to meet my ideal partner, right? What specific actions can I take to meet my ideal partner? And this is good if you have already outlined your ideal partner. It doesn't necessarily have to be a list written out. That can help a lot of people. It can just be an energetic feeling, but you do need to know what that partner feels like on some level. So what specific actions can I take to meet my ideal partner is much more specific, it's much more clear, and there's more power in it than when am I going to meet my soulmate. What specific actions could I take to build my self-confidence? Right? This is another one. So that's a good question if that's your desire. If your desire is to have higher self-confidence. Now, again, if you wanted to improve this even more, you want to think about what self-confidence looks like to you. Does it mean speaking in front of an audience where you feel comfortable and at ease? Is that how you know you'll have built your self-confidence? How will you know that the goal has been achieved? How will you know that your intention has manifested, right? So you want to make that clear in your mind. What could I do to bring in another $100 a month for me and my family? This is an excellent question. What could I do to bring in another $100 a month for me and my family? It's clear, it's specific, and it's definitely actionable. There are things that your guides can give you that will allow you to do that. And the next section is how to tune in. So the very first thing, I hope it's obvious by now, we talked about it before, prepare your questions in advance. Do this first. Don't do anything else before you prepare your questions in order to tune in. And make sure that the questions are the ones that you actually want answered. Make sure that the questions you're writing down matches the energy. So just check within yourself to make sure those are the questions you want answered. You can just focus on your heart center and just breathe into it. And if it feels like a good question, you're on the right path, okay? You want to get your area prepped. This is different for each person. I tend to light sage, and then I will actually meditate in my office, and I'll kick my cats out. I have cats, and they will help me meditate if I don't kick them out. So I get my area in a way that I can easily tune in, and I can receive information without distractions. So make sure your area is prepped. Also, if you wrote down your questions, which I highly recommend that you do, make sure your questions are within arm's reach, okay? Otherwise, you're going to have to get up and find them, and it's going to be a little bit of a mess. So just make sure you have everything in the right place. Next, a 5-minute relaxation meditation. And this is going to help you relax, it's going to clear your mind, and it's going to clear your energy. So if you do a 5-minute relaxation meditation before you actually start tuning in, you are going to get much better results. I make this absolutely mandatory in my classes. I teach every one of my clients how to do this. So please just try it. Use 5 minutes. After you do it a little bit, you may choose not to spend the full 5 minutes relaxing. Play it by ear, but definitely take time at the beginning, definitely 5 minutes to relax. Next is raise your vibration. Now, the most common reason people can't hear their guides or the universe is because they are in too low of vibration. You can think of it like a building. Your guides are at the top of the building. They're on the 10th floor, right? And you, in normal human awareness, are on level 3. And I'm making these numbers up, by the way, so don't get caught up in them. So you're on level 3. Now, if you were to yell at the top of your lungs, how easy is it for your... Actually, your guides can hear you fine. Let's go the other direction. If your guides are yelling down at you from 10 and you're 7 levels apart, right? How easy is it for you to hear the guides through those layers, through the building? It'd be very difficult, right? So when you raise your vibration, it's like taking an elevator up to the same vibration that your guides are on. And once you get to level 10 on this building, then your guides and you can have just an open conversation. So once you're in the raised vibration, don't just dive into your questions. Just take a few minutes to sit in this vibration. This is so good for you on so many levels. It allows you to get used to being in a higher vibration, and it allows you to relax into it. Especially if you don't normally go around in a super high vibration, especially then sitting in the high vibration for a few minutes is going to help you so much on getting clear and specific answers from your guides. How to ask your questions. So you want to ask your questions and record what you get. Ignore what I said first. So ask your questions and record what you get. So whenever you're tuning in, you're there, you're in the high vibration, you sat a few minutes, you want to record what you get. The very first thing that you need to know here is you want to observe. Now, if you are like me and a lot of people that I have coached and taught in my classes, then you are going to have your ego talking up and criticizing every single piece of information you get. All right? Don't worry about it. You are completely normal. You are completely human. If this happens to you, congratulations, you're alive. All right? So at this point, whenever you get that little mind chatter, You're just going to say, yeah, you're probably right. This probably isn't important, but I'm going to record it anyway, just in case, right? So you just observe. You don't have to analyze. You can always throw out the entire meditation as crap later, but while you're in the ether, while you're doing the work, just observe and record everything. Now, if you're trying to figure out your psychic style, ask the 4 questions. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? And what do I know? And just record everything that happens for you, right? Do not analyze. The less it makes sense, the more important it is to record. I'm going to talk about why this is in just a minute, but understand that the less it makes sense, the more important it is to record. This is the coolest key to getting good information from your intuition. So just, if it doesn't make sense to you, record it. That's actually really, really important. If it made perfect sense to you, then you'd already be listening to your intuition 100% of the time, okay? Don't worry about it if it doesn't make sense. You're doing it right. Allow a few minutes for each question. As you practice this, you will be able to do it more quickly and more quickly. But at the very beginning, just allow a few minutes for each question, and again, just record everything that's coming to you. Also, an important note, you also want to make sure that you're allowing the information in. Just allow it to come to you. Do not chase it. Just let it come to you. Okay? How to tune in? Get your vibration back to normal. Okay, so you got information, you tuned in, you were in a super high vibration. Now that you're done, you want to get back to a mostly normal state. You can retain a lot of your high vibration, but you do not want to be in the ether. Spending too much time in the ether is very hard on your body. If you spend too much time with the guides, it tends to drain you immensely. Professional psychics actually limit how many readings we do a day, specifically for this reason, because it is so energetically draining. We will just be wiped out if we were to spend a full 8 hours. That sounds like a nightmare up in the ether. So yeah, just get your vibration back to normal. Allow yourself to get fully grounded again. And take a few minutes to be super present with your body. Feel things with your hands. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Just feel the sensations in your body. Focus on the sensations in your body. And then take a 5-minute break. Once you're present in your body, take a 5-minute break. Go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, go do something else. And then you want to work on the analysis. So again, you want to do the break first. So 5-minute break, then you look over everything that you wrote. Because remember, you took notes about everything you saw, everything you heard, everything you felt, and everything you knew. Right? So you didn't analyze anything while you were in the ether because you're just getting the information at that point. Now it's time to do the analysis. So you look over what you wrote. If there's anything that is actionable, even if it's just one piece of actionable information, you want to write it out concisely on a separate piece of paper. I actually use 3x5 cards for this because it makes it very easy for me to carry around to remind myself. Sometimes this will be a belief that I need to adjust. Sometimes this will be a phone call or an email I need to write. Whatever it is for you, you want to write it out on a separate piece of paper that's easy for you to track. It doesn't matter how you do this, you just want it documented. Highlight anything you don't yet understand. If there's some stuff, and there likely will be, that you don't get yet, just highlight it, star it, whatever, make a note, because you're going to want to delve a little bit deeper to extract the meaning from it. Okay, now underneath this video training, you will see 2 documents that you can download. The first one is the visions interpretation process. So if the information you don't understand is visual, for instance, one thing that's very common is one of my clients or one of my students will see a ball of swirling light, and it's pink and purple and it's going clockwise, right? Now, when you look at that, that doesn't make any sense. So I want to revisit why this is so powerful. Whenever you don't understand something, it's clear that it's not necessarily coming from you, right? So if you don't understand what a pink and purple ball of light swirling clockwise means, that's a pretty clear indicator that your conscious mind did not create it, your imagination did not create it, and that it really truly spontaneously came from your intuition, from your guides. So that's where the gold is. So the visions interpretation process, especially the first time you do it, will take you a little bit of time. The more often you do it, the less time it will take. So now I can do this without writing anything down. It takes me, as soon as I see a weird image, it takes me about 2 minutes to have the actionable answer afterward. Most likely, the first time you do this, it may take you 15 or 20 minutes to get a good answer. Okay, don't worry about that. That's part of the process. If the information that you don't understand is sensation or emotion related, download the Common Clairsentient Sensations to help you understand it. Now, I documented the most common clairsentient sensations in my coaching clients and in my classes, and also that I experienced. And then I put them in a little file. It's a few pages. It will give you an idea of what you are experiencing and what it means. So if you got a sensation, like for instance, if you got a tingling in your fingertips, right? Then that's when you want to refer to the Common Clairsentient Sensations, or if your hands got warm. That's a document you want to look at. All right. If it is not one of those things, if it's not a visual and if it is not a sensation and you do not understand it, please shoot me an email personally at ea@erinashleycoaching.com and I will help you out. I'm doing this for free because I absolutely love this work. It's fun. So helping someone understand how their intuition works is one of my greatest joys. So just shoot me an email. It really is fun for me. Allow me a little time to get back to you. I do my best to respond quickly. Sometimes it can take a few days. Sometimes I get swamped and it takes a week or two. Doesn't mean I don't care. Doesn't mean I'm not going to respond. It just takes me a little time. But please do email me personally if you do have a question that doesn't seem to be answered by one of those. Okay. All right, this has been your video training for helping you learn how to tune in to get specific and actionable answers. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this and developing your intuition. There's nothing more powerful than the intuition. I truly believe that. The intuition has so much information that we all can use if we learn how to tap into it. So thank you for being dedicated to living your best life and to growing as a human being. If you want more information or if you loved this video, visit Erin-Ashleycoaching.com for more goodies. I will see you next time. Bye.